but I don't want it easy. I want it to be me. I wanted to carry my personal character and my personal ideas and goals. Yeah, I'm Volker. I was born in 1970, good old times, and in Germany. In fact, I am half American. My dad is an American, and he just recently died this year in the beginning, which is a little sad, but it gave me the opportunity to visit him just shortly before he died, and he inspired me kind of being the person that I am, and I think nobody can deny something when you see pictures of him and pictures of me. You see kind of similarities. I am into cars. In fact, I'm a car nut, and especially into American cars and trucks that really went expensive. Yeah, I grew up here in Germany, in northern Germany, and my spirit is kind of like that. And I like the northern German land and scenery, and that's me. I'm kind of diverse in many things, but yeah, I am working at a car shop who does conversions from cars from outside Germany to get them registered here, and that propelled my passion much further, because I got to know many people who can help me getting things done I couldn't have done before. I own this truck since 1993, and the folks who sold it to me, they sold a bunch of bad shit to me. I didn't realize it then, and I took the opportunity to learn in that process in the following years, because I had to change out everything, and that's kind of a mirror of my life. I had to change many things and learn. That's a normal process, but I can relate that to many things in my life, and now I'm here. I do what I like in job full time, and I do what I love and passion in my free time, and I think that's the main goals in life that I learned, and that I try to get to and to work towards my life goals. And this is the big part of that. The fact that I love these American cars and trucks are just they have so much character to them, so much wow factor to them, so much. They are big, they are nice, just all around nice cars. I own many cars and many German cars, but this thing in special, the CK truck from 1973 to 87, I think when I visited my dad in the US, I visited relatives in general in the US, and I got to know a man one day who picked me up at some relatives, and he had a brand new 1987 K20 truck, which he picked me up and showed me around for almost a day. We went overland in the upstate New York and drove around, and he showed me the scenery, he showed me his little farm, and we went out eating, and I didn't even really know who this man was. I just knew he was some kind of relative, and he didn't say anything about it. And at the end of the day, he brought me back to the other relatives, and I've been there for the rest of that vacation. And when I came home, I thought about it a little bit, just not too much. And on my 18th birthday, I asked my mom who this guy was, and she broke out in tears and said, "That was your dad." And I just, I had a hard time figuring out for myself what that all meant. In fact, this kind of truck, he sent me some pictures via email in the mid-90s something. I had built up a little contact via email, and he sent me pictures of that truck. And that was like instant relation to that kind of truck. And yeah, but I didn't know that sometimes I'm gonna get one. So I searched around. I love pickup trucks already, and so I searched around and I found one. Intendedly, I wanted to get another truck that I had laid my eyes on, but by looking at it in person, it was just a pile of junk. And they had standing around some CK trucks there, and I looked at it and I was in love, and I bought it, even though I shouldn't, because it was a pile of junk too. But yeah, that's when the process started. It went bad on the road to home already, and so instead of giving it back and taking my money, I decided I want to keep it and just go as the events happened. So the motor went bad. I got a new motor. The tranny went bad. I got a new tranny. The starter, the power steering pump, all the parts went bad. So then the day came when I was out of money and said, okay, what to do now? And the decision was to disassemble it completely and build it up. Just make everything new and nice. In terms of budget, that was a project that was that took at least 15 years. It took me 15 years to get that truck back on the streets, registered. And because I didn't have any money, and when I had money, I just spent it on the truck, but that weren't big amounts. It was just small amounts, and every time I had $100 in my hand, I took it and spent it on the truck. And so that took about 15 years to do all that, and learning about all the systems, all the technical stuff, especially on this truck, but many parts, many learned things are interchangeable to other cars, to other trucks, to other technical stuff. And so I learned a lot. And now I'm kind of a specialist for these trucks. And I have so much knowledge in my head that I can tell you everything. I can tell you about every bolt, every nut that is in it, every cable, every engine that is possible for this. And I don't want to stop here. I just want to go further. So this is this became a general kind of trade that I do. And so I went from the carpentry, which I learned at first as a trade. I went to some other things, went to the military for a year and learned to drive trucks, big trucks, and was stuck with that for some years. And then I got the opportunity to go to a small repair shop as a service in the service department. And that took me a whole lot further in learning about cars, learning about repairing cars, because all things I did to that point were just amateur things and hobby wrenching. And that's sometimes can be dangerous if you work on brakes or something, or on the drivetrain. So yeah, I took my learning experience further and just brought it up to date with modern electronics and with yeah, just the stuff that you need today to keep your car in working order. And I do set that up for my truck now. I go further and tune it and go with modern electronics and the old style body, because that's what I'm passionate about. Is it's the old style, the old characteristics of cars and trucks from the 60s, 70s, 80s, which have character, and give them just new technology to work with and to be much more safer, much more convenient on the street. And that's the way I'll go with that. I've been riding around in it for about 10 years, and it's time to do it right now. I'm hooked on it so much because my dad had one. My dad had one similar truck like that. It was a four-wheel drive, and this is a rear-wheel drive only, but the general truck was the same, and I think that's an emotional thing, and it's an emotional decision. And I got to read a magazine which name was Sport Truck magazine, and in that time I had the truck. It was the shit, as you say today, to get the truck lowered and get wheels on it. In generally, that was what I did to all my other cars too. But this was a special car and a special truck, and there are not so many in here in Germany, and at that time there weren't even 10 or 12 in Germany. So the decision to keep it and build it was kind of natural to me. I didn't want to sell it at all because I just love the style, I love the look of it, and I had a plan what to make with it, what to do with it. And the plan hasn't changed, just the way changed to do it, and the possibilities change because the aftermarket has surrounded these trucks so much. You can get everything for it, and that makes it a little easier to do it and to keep it. And I have to say that after the 26 years I own it now, I still love it. I'm really into this, and that's the decision was kind of easy to do. There were many times, many days I thought, okay, just give it up, sell the parts for $500, give it away and get rid of it. But fortunately, I never did that because I would have been unhappy for the rest of my life. And I think that's defining the emotional connection in that. And I am generally a lightly negative person, so that negative thoughts come on regularly. I'm working on that, by the way. So yeah, you think about that, selling the project or just getting rid of it, and because it takes time and it doesn't evolve, you can afford parts or whatever. And I even had one girlfriend who said, sell that shit. Fortunately, I didn't. And there was another girlfriend, my former wife, which I just got divorced with. She promoted me on that, and she said, okay, just build it, make something of it. And I did, and that helped. And every time I actually touched the truck, in which way ever, sometimes I just came here and said, okay, put a hand on it and say, connect to it, and just sit in there. Even if you don't do anything to it, just sit in there, grab the steering wheel, close your eyes and dream a little bit. That is just bringing you further, and that gets you can you can go on with that. It just pushes you further every time. And every time I did something, doesn't matter what, and even if it was filling up the radiator because it was losing water, and it's constantly spilling oil on the floor. Just that bit to keep it running is so much motivation and so much bringing you further. And that was when I had negative thoughts about it. Day later, I went here and just looked at it and said, okay, no, I don't sell it. I just take my time and do it. I'd rather put it in a bag and cover it up and let it sit than thinking about selling. Because I own it for so long. Most of the people know me because I own this. And the other folks that I know longer than the truck are easy to count. Not so much. But it's just, they say that guy is kind of crazy. Sure, he is, but he's consistent in that. And he was for all the time. And that was most of the folks I talked to, they say, wow, 25 years, one truck, I wouldn't have done that. And that's me. So you have to be a good part crazy to do this and to stay with it. But because it's not, you cannot explain it for some economical reasons. It's just crazy to do this. And you spend so much money on it and so much time and so much heart and effort that most of the folks would say, okay, no, just sell it and get something else. It's way easier, but I don't want it easy. I want it to be me. I wanted to carry my personal character and my personal ideas and goals. And it has such a big impact in my life. And so, no, I won't ever sell it. And I let the people call me crazy, whatever, I don't care, as long as I have this one. About 25 years ago, the community was way different than today. There were some folks who had American cars, and in fact in 1992, the year before I bought that, I visited my first US car meeting, and that what propelled the passion and made it possible to see where can I buy such a thing and where can I get one and what is it what I really like. And the community is in general nice people. They are, and they meet around their cars, but they carry their personal things with it. And if you meet folks and talk about their car or truck or whatever they have, you mostly get additional personal information because they all put their character and their passion in it. And the community 25 years ago was a little low on that. It's gotten better, but it evolved. It evolved with the cars, it evolved with the folks, with younger folks or people you got to get to know about just because you have one, or you go to a meeting and meet somebody who has a nice car and you just talk to them. And now my community is really nice folks, and we meet every year, and we have fun around the cars. The cars don't get out of focus, but the personal experiences and the friendships and the community playing went much more into the focus. And so it's just a very nice surrounding you have with US cars. And nowadays I have a little more money and I can afford to go places with it and meet more people, and the community has grown pretty much. because I think today many people want their own experience, their own taste. They look for character, and you find them in old cars. You find character, you find something extraordinary in relation to your daily driver. These cars mostly aren't daily drivers because they have that kind of character. They consume a little more fuel, and they are very nice and shiny, so you don't want to park that under a tree where the crows drop their shit on it or something like that. And the traffic is kind of crazy, so sometimes the old techniques with old brakes or something isn't as safe as it was 25 years ago. So the individuality and the special way you have to care about it, to treat it, to drive it, is kind of the things that makes the people who are the community. I have 2 websites. I documented the story on my website that's called Volker's Hobby Zone, and I'm not much active at that site anymore, but I think I will be again. And I have another site called the Gearhead Depot, which is, I think, the frame to all this. It's the frame to my community, it's the frame to my passion, and it's a frame to my truck, and it's the frame to technical info and to things I like. And that is, that's the base, I think, where we'll get all together. And I was happy enough to own a little shop called the Gearhead Depot, where I dealt with parts and I just gave infos to folks I have, and I helped them with their restorations and their projects. And I kept that site even though I closed my business because of financial background. I said, okay, it's not that good anymore, so I closed it down. But the Gearhead Depot in general just exists because it's me. I am the Gearhead Depot, and it is all about the community and all about the technique and all about trucks, cars in general, US stuff, and I just love that, and I keep that. And that is where you can find all info you need, or where you can contact me and I give you info if I have. So that's my internet World Wide Web presence I have, and I got to learn, got to meet many people around that. They found me over the internet and contacted me, and so I made friends all over the world around that. Communication is a very big part for everyone. That's what anyone will say to you. You have to communicate. Okay, relationship is one thing, but this is another. I just love to get connected to people and make new friends and make new connections and learn about what other folks do, and see what's possible, and see what the folks like or not like. It's not that I've been influenced by any other folks. I just looked around, okay, this is what I like to do, and follow that goal. But a little influence from the outside is good anyway. So I just shared it to the world, and I have so much information, and I like to share it to folks who appreciate it. And it's not good when you have someone you want to talk to about your passion, and they don't like it. And they just try to be polite and hear what you say, but they don't understand anything about it. And so you need to have people that are related to that too, and that can appreciate what you did, whatever it is, whether it may be just mechanical work or the idea of the look, the idea of the theme, or the color, or whatever. So sharing it is just one of the big things I like to do about that. And I hopefully can reach out to many folks who like what I did, or maybe dislike what I did, but I look forward for comments on that and for inspiration from outside. And so if someone doesn't like it, he can say it to me, no problem, as long as if he's polite. I don't like talk bullshit about something else. I just be true and say what I think. The ultimate goal, I think, is taking it out of the shop, jumping in and just drive it, cruise it, drive it. And the general theme it will be is called Pro Touring, which is kind of a very sporty thing. And all the parts that go in there will promote that term. So I can drive a little sportier. It will have more power. It will have a better stance, a better all over technical. It will be very modern underneath. But you have to look twice to see that or to recognize that. So the way to go with that is ride the roads overland and corner a bit harder than I could have done with the OEM suspension it has now, and just enjoy it and show it off for sure. Think twice about everything you do. And whenever you feel unsure or insecure about a decision you want to make, just go and ask someone and get a second opinion. And preferably people who have at least a little understanding of the things you do, the things you like. And change in life or change of things in life isn't always bad, but it can be. If you have an emotional connection to anything, to some kind of car or obstacle or profession or whatever, just feel that, get a feeling for it. And not everything is good in rational decisions, but not everything is bad in rational decisions too. So the material background is always a big point, for sure. And if you can't afford something, look at your priorities. What is important in your life? And if you have something, you say, okay, it's not important enough to keep it, then just get rid of it. But if you have the feeling it is something you want to do, doesn't have exactly to be right now, but when you have the feeling it is there in another year, in the next year or in the next 10 years, and you have the chance to keep it, just think twice about really get rid of it. And it's just all about passion. And if you don't have the passion for it, it's not the right thing. Don't rush anything, because if you try to rush anything and have a point when it has to be ready and when it has to be drivable, you won't make it, and you will be disappointed about that. And so take your time, don't rush your goals, but keep at it. I'm excited, really excited. And I ordered so many parts, and I'm really excited about every single part I bought and I ordered. And as you will see in the unpacking sessions and in the further building sessions we will do, I'm really excited about everything, because it wasn't clear that I get the opportunity to do this at all. So now I'm really motivated to do that, and to build it from the ground up and tear it apart, as sad as it may seem, but it isn't. It is a new start. It's a start of something big for me, and I'm really drooling about it and the whole process, and I'm even drooling about this interview because I like it. I like it a lot, and it's me. It's just celebrating myself, being good to myself, and carrying it out to the world.